So I'd just like to start by saying that I was looking around everyone in the room today, and I find it incredible that this conference started life as a small user group meeting over 8 years ago. And I vividly remember bringing together a small group of our first few clients, and how scared I was that everyone might think it was a perfect opportunity to give the team and myself a hard time. But to my surprise, nobody did. Everybody who came appreciated the opportunity to share and collaborate on ideas that would help us all. And from that point on, we decided that we would always uphold an open and transparent and collaborative approach with everyone that we work with. And it's great to know that those first few clients that helped us get Surpass started are here with us in the room today. Okay, so Tim, who, by the way, has done a fantastic job at organising today's conference, asked me to present today on all of the innovative things that we've done over the last 10 years and all of the innovative things that we might do over the next 10 years. So I thought, okay, no problem. But when I started to think about it, I quickly realised that actually all the innovations that we'd ever achieved and all that we're likely to ever achieve were not BTL's innovations at all. They were achieved and done as a collaboration between you guys, our clients and partners, and us together. And when you consider our combined efforts over the last 10 years, we've accomplished some amazing things together. So for example, when I look at AQA and SQA, they completely digitized their whole paper-based assessment construction, so that now all of their paper-based items for their general qualifications are created digitally in Surpass and item banked for future use, improving the quality and security and efficiency of their whole exam production process. And that was an enormous undertaking for them, given the scale of their operation. Then I look at WJC. Now they've been delivering general qualifications on screen, which, by the way, is a nearly impossible task, and even introducing video avatars into their content while they're at it. So that's fantastic. And what about AAT? They did a complete switch off of their paper-based system and went completely to e-assessment for their high-stakes exams in just 1 year. And while they're at it, they converted the majority of their accountancy assessments to be automatically and instantly scored using advanced question types in Surpass. So that's an amazing achievement. City and Guilds, pushing the boundaries of what's possible with math simulations and bringing enormous scale to Surpass. They managed to move from their previous system onto Surpass with only a 1-week switchover. So that's absolutely incredible, although I do remember being very nervous that week. ICAW, pushing simulations further again by driving the development of a combined spreadsheet and word processor simulation. The spreadsheet simulation is an outstanding technical achievement. TWI trying new technologies in their test centres and finding a whole new approach for delivering exams by just using Intel compute sticks, so that all they need are computer monitors provided on-site at test centres. The American Board of National Medical Examiners, bringing a whole wave of fresh new ideas to the test construction process and including new technical concepts into Surpass for everyone's benefit. The British Council, using our quick and easy offline tablet app to be able to reach more places and more students across the world than ever before, and eliminating any need for internet connectivity in their pop-up centre venues. Edinburgh Business School, using a brand new diagram creator question type to enable their students to fully demonstrate their skills. And by the way, Edinburgh Business School subsequently went on to win the e-Assessment Export Award earlier this year too, so huge congratulations to them for that. And of course, Prometric, who has introduced countless swathes of new ideas as they consolidate hundreds of their clients onto Surpass. So the list goes on, and there's simply no time for me to speak about everyone's fantastic achievements and how they've used Surpass to excel in their objectives. But most importantly, the level of creativity that was needed to jointly achieve all of these successes over the last 10 years has been enormous, and we've loved every minute of it, and we feel very privileged to have been your technology partner through it all. So whilst all of this is happening, we also continue to stay abreast of new technologies. So we built Surpass using Microsoft technologies at its foundation, and we use Flash, Adobe Flash for many of our user interfaces. And actually, that was the best decision we ever made, as without combining these two technologies, we'd have never achieved the incredible capabilities that Surpass has built up. Flash has been a best friend to us all for ensuring that every candidate had got the same experience whilst many other systems in the market were struggling to do that. But even Adobe has now said that Flash needs to come to an end within the next few years. And in the meantime, HTML5 has now come of age. In the last year alone, the top 3 web browsers now support between 73 and 95% of the HTML5 standard. And test centers are now staying fairly up to date thanks to automated browser updates. So we're already in a great position to take advantage of this. And our new HTML5, if it runs, there we go. A new HTML5 test driver has never looked better. Conformance to accessibility standards has also been designed into it from the outset, so all candidates will get a great experience. So it's time to say a fond farewell to Flash and say hello to the world of pure HTML. And in fact, our partner Alpha Plus has actually been delivering exams into schools using our new HTML5 driver on behalf of the Welsh Government. And what's more, we've been building in adaptive assessment capabilities into the new test driver while we're at it. So if you'd like to know more about the HTML5 delivery and start trying it for yourself, I know that our product management team would love to speak to you about it. Okay, so what's in store for the next 10 years? What innovations might we see? So I've met some very passionate people over the last few years who believe they know exactly what will happen. Some excitedly predict the end of standardized testing as we know it, where teachers and tutors will provide their own digital certificates and micro-credentials. Others believe that learning and assessment will become one. Some believe that games-based assessment will become standard. These are all interesting ideas and may well happen, but actually I believe that many of these transformations will more likely take place in the formative space, and the world of providing high-stakes regulated exams will still probably be around for a long time to come. But there are still plenty of new technologies and advancements that the high-stakes testing world could benefit from the next decade. But first we need to understand what will drive innovation and change for the next 10 years. Well, you will. We'll continue to be led by you as we explore new technologies and approaches. And it's my job as CTO and our technology team to listen to your ideas and then suggest the most appropriate use of technology to achieve this. And from what we've seen so far in the industry, the primary causes for innovation can be generalized into 4 main drivers. First of all, improving efficiency. We're always looking at how we can increase the efficiency of the whole of your assessment process, whether that's a process of creating and administering exams so that you can be more competitive, or the process of issuing results to candidates is faster so you can offer a more attractive service. Or number 2, reducing risk. As an industry that's always under so much scrutiny from the media or from regulators, risk is always a major consideration. Therefore, any innovations that can help to improve the chances of high-quality exams being delivered, or provide greater analysis of test performance, or better security to keep your banks of items, certain tests safe, is going to be a winner. And of course, the wild card in the mix is when the regulations change or when government starts pulling levers. And whilst this can be quite frustrating at the time, or very frustrating at the time, it can lead to new creative solutions leveraging new technologies and capabilities. And finally, improving the assessments to make them more authentic and valid. This has always been a key strength of Surpass, stemming from our chairman, Dr. Bob Gummersall. And Bob has always been a deep believer in the need to blur the line between the world of learning and the world of exams. So any innovation that can help assess a candidate in a more real-world manner is certainly going to get our vote. So I think an educationalist would look at innovation in terms of what might change in the industry and how technology could be used to support that change. But as a technologist, I come at this from the other way around. So I would say, well, what are the changes in technology that are happening and how might they change our industry? So we've got generally no control over regulation or policy, although that would be nice sometimes. So I generally focus on what technologies are arriving in the next few years that will either improve efficiency or reduce risk or improve the assessment experience for the candidate. So what are some of these technologies? Well, let's start by looking at the growth of use of machine learning. Amazon uses it, Google uses it. Machine learning is revolutionizing the way companies do business worldwide. Machine learning is basically the ability for computer programs to analyze big data, extract information automatically, and learn from it. So for example, with 250 million active customers and tens of millions of products, Amazon's machine learning makes accurate product recommendations to you based on the customer's browsing and purchasing behavior almost instantly. And there's no way a human could ever do that. Google and Tesla's self-driving cars are using machine learning to make a road safer. And IBM's Watson is making waves in healthcare with its machine learning and cognitive computing power. So how can we apply machine learning to our industry? Can we do it? Absolutely. So in fact, BTL already has. So we've actually now built in some basic machine learning into our e-marking system as standard. So our e-marking system looks for any candidate answers that have already been scored by a human, and then automatically gives the same score to all other candidates who gave the same answers. That's an example of an innovation that's improving efficiency. But there's so much more that could be done. So for example, taking scoring further, we could use machine learning alongside natural language processing technologies to learn what markers award for essay answers, and then let machines start double marking alongside the humans as it gains confidence. And this would eliminate the the need for high volume upfront training that existing automated essay scoring systems use, and instead would improve the quality like a helpful assistant and reduce the human scoring risk in the process. That's just a couple of examples, but if you were interested in machine learning and artificial intelligence, then you'd be delighted to know that we actually have an organization called Spark here today, and they're hosting a session to help you explore AI and the future of assessment. Okay, what else? Virtual reality and augmented reality is now becoming standard. The latest iPhone has augmented reality baked right into the heart of it. So think of the opportunities here. Maybe you need to assess a candidate on their ability to determine the quality of a weld, or a doctor on the quality of a stitch. Going further still, you could use virtual reality in any scenario where you currently need to deliver a standardized real-world setting to assess how the candidate would react. So, for example, in healthcare assessment, objective structured clinical examinations, I always struggle to get that word out, OSCEs as they're known, they're frequently used to test clinical skill performance. So organizations currently delivering these exams have to bring in loads of actors to behave as standardized patients in a complex logistical setup. So, for example, it could work out a lot cheaper to bank some virtual reality scenarios that could then be tweaked and reused over time compared with the current physical world equivalent. And what about linear optimization technology? Has anyone heard of this? Linear optimization, could I just see a show of hands? Anyone who's come across this? Very few. And half of you guys are BTL guys, so you're just cheating. So it's not actually a new concept. In fact, many of the most popular technology services already use it, and so you'd be forgiven for never even realizing. So for example, FedEx, when they're organizing their drivers' shortest route between delivery locations to save on fuel and on time, it's actually linear optimization technology that they're using. Or whenever you use your Google Maps to figure out your fastest route home, again, that's actually linear optimization. So how can any of this be applied to our industry? Well, actually, we can use this technology to automate the whole test construction process. So we can take all of your content rules for a test and combine them with all the psychometric constraints to describe the level of difficulty needed, and then factor in all the various relationships, such as enemy items and item sets, and so on, and then we can generate the perfect test based on your bank of items. And this complexity goes beyond what the Surpass dynamic rules are currently capable of doing. But to do that task manually outside of Surpass and the system could take many days to achieve a successful result. But so far from our own trials, we've managed to get that down to just a few seconds. So that's an incredible efficiency saving. So I really believe this technology could actually be a complete game changer for test assembly in Surpass. And you're likely to hear a lot more about this over the next couple of days. So actually, those are just a few of our thoughts. But in BTL tradition, we thought it'd be good to get your thoughts on possible innovations for the future. So we polled a sample of you here today to get some thoughts and ideas from you. And so here's a list of some of the ideas we got from you. So one idea: use crowdsourcing techniques for the creation of larger pools of lower cost items. So yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Use machine learning to enable the creation of cloned items. So I think the point here is that perhaps it could automatically pick out the variable aspects of items and automatically generate more items for you. Use of real-life tools in your test beyond Excel and Word to enable even more performance-based assessments. So, for example, incorporating accountancy packages and CAD packages. So that makes a lot of sense too. Use real-time analytics to identify candidates whose responses suggest they've previously seen the material. So I think maybe an example here is it could perhaps automatically flag up a candidate who's getting lots of correct responses with minimal time. I don't know how we'd then react to that and what the best solution is, but use of haptic gloves to assess technical and hands-on skills. So yeah, I could see that being really interesting, if maybe testing surgeons' skills and that kind of thing. Increased adoption of biometric validation built into smartphones, combined with the use of webcams for remote verification of identity and test delivery. That's a mouthful. Yes, so with smartphone biometrics now becoming so prevalent, it would certainly make sense for us to consider how we could tap into that technology. And then finally, use of AI in psychometrics to measure the validity and reliability of assessments and automatically flag them up for review. So I can certainly see that having great appeal. Okay, so these are some really great ideas here, and a good reminder of how when we collaborate and share our ideas, we'll continue to be able to push the industry forward even in the most challenging conditions. And I'd just like to thank these organisations for sharing some of these ideas with us. I can't tell you whether any of these ideas or my own thoughts will ever make it to reality, but I do hope this has provided some food for thought, and that we'll always be with you as new technologies emerge and discoveries are made. So that's it for me. So all that remains for me to say is a big thank you for being such great partners to work with. I hope you found it useful to take a step back and look at the last 10 years of innovation and all the potential for the next 10 years. And as your technology partner, we felt really privileged to be on this journey with you all, and I know that we'll continue to do lots of exciting and amazing things together. So thanks a lot.